Welcome to the Business Behind the Scene podcast with Francesca Moi, where we talk all about real business problems, real solutions, and getting actual results in your business. Hello, and welcome to episode number 221 of Business Behind the Scene. And today we're going to talk about something that I hear all the time. Why you're overpaying for underperformance. So people that come to me and they say, oh my goodness, I have hired a virtual assistant from other agencies and it was a nightmare. I didn't get the value for what I was paying for. The VA disappeared, or the VA didn't do this, or the VA didn't do that. And sometimes they lower the standards to be able to, because they think, well, if this is the VA they're bringing me, this must be the best that I can get. And I just wanted to let you know, you don't have to lower your standards. You can have the VA that you're dreaming for. It's happening. And we just need to find a way, right? We need to find a way for you to first choose the right agency, make sure that you listen to obvious things, right? Referrals and things like that. But also, I want to talk about the fact that when you get a virtual assistant, sometimes it's a 50-50, right? We need to have the right systems in place. We need to have the right attitude. We need to have the right understanding on how to delegate to be able to have a successful relationship. So here's the thing. You don't have to have a bad experience. You don't have to lower your standards. The goal is not to point fingers and to other agencies, is to really help you make the most of your value for your investment, so that your VA can truly free up your time, grow your business, and help you support you and your team. So we want to cover this in this call because I get that so much. And so many people come to me and they've got frustration because they didn't feel that a VA was aligned with the workflow and the business priorities. And, they continue blaming other agencies. And I'm like, no, don't do that. Let's understand how to maximize your results from the resources that you have and the people that you hire, and really find the right structure and the right approach so that your virtual assistant can be a real growth driver of your business. And that's exactly what I wanted to talk to you guys all today. So let's get into it. So we have a quote that I wanted to share with you. If you think it's expensive to hire a professional to do a job, wait until you hire an amateur. This is from Red Adair. And really, we want to focus on investing on the right person. And this is why in our Empower Virtual Solution, we base our hire on personality tests. So we don't just base on the skills and experience the VA has in the task they need done, but also to make sure that they've got the right attitude and the right personality to support you personally. We have seen that many, many, many times. And a lot of agencies, unfortunately, don't do that. And we do. So we don't just match yourself with a virtual assistant based on the skills that you need and then hope that it works. But we actually do a personality test both for you and for your virtual assistant so that we can see how you're going to work when things don't go right. How are you going to work together when there is conflict? How can you assist one another? Because what happens is that when people hire a virtual assistant, like it's all about psychologists, right? It's all about understanding the brain and the mind. And a lot of business owners, they want to hire a VA that are the clone of themselves. And in fact, when I wrote my book, The Power of Delegation, a lot of people were saying that I should call it How to Clone Yourself. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to call it that because I don't believe that the first hire should be a clone. It's the opposite. I believe that the first hire should be your opposite. So your EA, your person close to you, should be the opposite. Because if you are not structured, you need to get a VA that is very structured. If you are very structured, you might need to get someone that is a little bit more creative and it can bring a little bit of creativeness to the business, a little bit of fun and flow and ideas, because you might not have that. So it's important for us to understand who you are and how you work so that we can find the right match in that sense as well. Also, what is important for us to say is that when you focus on investing on the right person instead of on the cheapest person, you save yourself most of the stress, wasted time, and lost opportunity. So Warren Buffett actually says that price is what you pay, value is what you get. So I wouldn't focus on the price. It doesn't matter on that. For me, it's important to also not focus on the hours that a VA work. A lot of people come to me like, I want a VA to only do 20 hours a week. And I'm like, doesn't really matter. Like, I prefer to have someone full time so that I can have them available anytime of the day I need them. But also, I want to focus on the outcome. A lot of people ask me, Francesca, how do you check that the VA actually is working? I'm like, because I can see the outcome, I can see the results, I can see if they have delivered on what they promised, if the bottlenecks are removed from the business, if the business is growing, if things are flowing, if I don't have to deal with problems because the VA didn't answer to emails. Like I really focus on results. So it's very important that me and my VA, when the first VA first start, is clear on what are the roles, what are responsibility, and what I want them to take over off my shoulders and focus on outcomes, not hours. And this is one of the most important things that we're focusing on today. So identify what does it look like? Well, how can FBA succeed in your business is the first step. And to be honest, we do this for our clients and our agency, but you can do that even if you work with another agency. You just have to have a structure. So don't just wait and for the agency to provide this for you, even though we do that for our clients, but you need to also take responsibility and be like, you know what? I'm going to do that. So instead of telling the VA, please check the emails every day, like be more specific. Tell them, look, every client inquiry needs to be resolved within 24 hours to make sure that we stick to our 5 star relationship with our clients. Or any lead needs to be replied within 2 hours. Or right, so give them some more structure around why you want them to check the emails every day rather than check emails every day. Because it's funny, like I had a client that was telling me, oh, I told the VA that needs to check the emails and they haven't responded to things. I'm like, well, because you don't need to check emails. You didn't tell them needs to be done. It needs to be replied. Like you don't have to micromanage them. You need to tell them the bigger picture. I want email 0 every day at the end of the day. I want everybody to be responded to. I want everybody to have a response within 2 hours or 24 hours or whatever that is. So then they understand the scope and then they can actually go and do it. So we want to shift the VA from a task executor to a business enabler. They can then take ownership of what they do rather than just, I've done the task, tick it off, right? So we can build people like that as long as we give them the bigger picture. So we want to also build a structure for success. So important that we help the virtual assistant to define responsibility and standard of workflow by having SOPs, standard operating procedures, that really help them understand what is expected out of them, what they need to do, what are responsibility, what are the priorities throughout the day, and so they can be more independent. A lot of business owners, and this is something that I never do, they're like, oh, it's 10 o'clock at night. I haven't given the task for my VA to do tomorrow. That is micromanaging. If you're doing that, you are micromanaging your team. They should have structure. They should know exactly what needs to do now, what's expected of them. And you don't have to go, oh, I haven't given them something to do, because that means that you haven't done this step properly. So having accountability checkpoints. So weekly summary, dashboard to track progress, meetings, right? So you guys can check on the progress, answering questions. That is very important. The clients that are telling me, oh, I haven't seen my VA for 3 weeks, forget it. This is not going to be a long-term relationship. It's never going to work. So really collaboration rhythm is very important. Regular touch point, that is not micromanaging. It's the other way around. If you have regular touch points and you can give them like some clarity and then they can go and do the things, that is leadership. And a lot of people are afraid of that. And they're like, oh, I don't want to make my VA too much time because I don't want to micromanage them. And I'm like, it's the opposite. You're micromanaging. If you don't meet enough, then you have to micromanage because they're not clear on what they need to be done, right? So the other thing that I'm noticing that other agency might not do is that the matching skills and personality to really get it done. So I will talk about this on the beginning, but I want to dive deep a little bit on this because it's so priceless. And clients say that we do identify a VA with things ahead and act autonomously and independently only from our assessments of the personality. And we get them to do a disc profiling so that we can see if they are the right match for the business, if they can actually work independently, if they are proactive. We can see that from the assessment of their identity. we can see from the personality if they are the right match for your business culture, and they're going to be able to follow you in the changes that you have in your business. So a lot of the time we have clients that might be talking about sensitive subjects, and they want VAs that are not going to be shocked about it. So it's important that we match the VAs with the standard, with the culture, with the things that the business is going through. And the other thing is, and Howard Schultz says that hire people who are smarter than you, and then go out of their way. And this is something that I was just literally doing a class before I started recording this podcast this morning. And this person was telling me, oh, I haven't delegated anything yet because I want to make sure that I learn all the platforms before I delegate it so that I know how to delegate. And I'm like, no, 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 no. You need to know what a platform can do and cannot do. And then you need to choose which platform you want for your business. And then you get an expert that runs that for you. So you don't have to know all the ins and outs. I don't know to even do what to do in Canva or in Adobe. I don't know what to do in Excel. I don't know how to copy and froze a line. I mean, I'm just going in a bit of a exaggeration. I know how to do that. But what I'm saying is, I don't need to know how to do that. I need to know that that can happen. So then I can guide my team to be like, hey, it will be useful if we just froze the top part so that when we scroll, it's easier. So I need to know that something can happen to guide my team for them to do it. And then for us to be successful and working together with a virtual assistant or any team member by that means, then we need to be able to measure the success through three simple metrics: productivity, initiative, and business impact. So, are the tasks being completed accurately on time? Then, in that case, it doesn't matter if they need to go and pick up the kids as long as the tasks are done, right? So, number one, productivity is so, so, so important. Number two, initiative. Are they solving problems independently? Can they just like do things without having to ask you? Are they bringing you solutions and ideas to the problems, or they're adding up more to your problems? And are they freeing up your time so that you can focus on growth? Are they thinking ahead for you so that they can actually do that? If they do these things, who cares what time they work, right? And finally, improve in mindset for you and for the VA. So it's really hard. I find so many business owners struggle with that. They struggle to have tough conversations and offer feedback and coaching regularly. But this is the key. If we don't give feedback to our team, and guilty of that for so long, and sometimes I still fall into that because I'm thinking, it's fine. I don't need to get into this again. But we do. Feedback, positive and negative, is priceless. Positive feedback: are you doing great? Well done. It's good. People thrive in that. People leave a business not because of anything else, but because of their manager. And in this case, most of us are at the moment the managers. So we need to make sure that we give them positive feedback and negative feedback, that we help them grow and we help them upskill themselves. Encourage the VA to develop new skills and take higher tasks. They want to grow in a career. They don't want to stay stagnant. So that's very important as well. And sometimes we hire a second VA to do the easier task, and this VA can then grow in higher value tasks. And then turn the VA from a support role to a strategic asset. So you have to let them navigate themselves to a different place in your business so that they can add more value. So we really want you to think about, imagine logging off, knowing that your virtual assistant is handling all the day to day, your team is moving forward, and you finally have the space to focus on high impact work. I literally go once a month to a meeting where I'm not allowed any phone, any mobile, any internet, nothing at all for 5 hours. And I don't even worry about the business because I've got amazing team members that know what they're doing. And I can just focus on working on the business in the meeting without checking what's happening in the business, which is priceless, right? You don't need to settle. You can hire smart, structured, effective people that can help you grow your business with confidence. It's possible. You just have to have the structure in place. So check out the podcast notes for actionable tips and links to guide you, to show you exactly how to set up your virtual assistant for success and not for failure. So tap on the link and start building a virtual assistant relationship. If you want to grab my book, The Power of Delegation, you can do that. If you want to come to our next masterclass, we have one coming up. So check it out. If we have done it already, once you listen this, no problem. You can get a recording. So just message to my team. But also, all the links are in the description below. So you can just click on there. And there is a free virtual assistant strategy call. We call it the bottleneck audit. So we can have a look where are the bottlenecks in your business, and all the things you need. They're just down below. Click on that, check them out, enjoy it, and I'll see you in the next podcast. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening to this amazing podcast. Now, if you enjoyed this, you're definitely going to love my Facebook group where I've got over 11,000 people in it, and they're all business owners successful like you. It's called the Successful Entrepreneur Lounge, and in there I do classes every week, and I get to interview my clients, and I get to teach you all the things that I've done to get my business to 100K plus a month. So I look forward to have you in there. It's called the Successful Entrepreneur Lounge Facebook group in Facebook. I look forward to see you there. Ciao.